Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today, we discuss a patient's mindset enabling a lightning-fast recovery. Of course, this is thanks to the director's straightforward treatment method. He mentioned a patient named Ted who sadly passed away because he invited a little girl inside. At first, Ted completely denied his problems and was just eager for treatment. But one day, a mother and son visited him, and the director caught Ted spying on the little girl. He immediately called her over and asked Ted. I asked him if he remembered that little girl and the situation when he was defeated. Was she wearing that outfit? Of course I remember. From that day on, the director realized some issues can't be solved with medication alone. The director left in his own world while Mike embarked on his escape mission. He was convinced he was fine and didn't want to end up in the morgue, but Dr. Lou had seen it all. He knew Mike must have had enough of the director's special treatment, so he ran after. Come on, Mike. Tell me what the dean did, and we'll help you. Mike was glad but knew Dr. Lou wouldn't believe him easily. But he was merely a doctor. How could he possibly confront the director? There was a huge barbed wire fence at the end of the campus. There was no way Mike could escape alone, so he had to go home with Dr. Lou. Mike gave Ruddy a hint about the morgue, and that day Ruddy looked super nervous with his eyes darting around. Mike was thrilled. Ruddy definitely knew subtitles. Ruddy realized that he could no longer conceal the truth, so he came clean. His eyes widened as he revealed that Jolison had told him the answer. The body was found on New Year's Day in 1993, just 4 days away now. So if I don't intervene in my own end, every second now is a countdown. I must return to the morgue to figure out how I load off. But Dr. Lou had already intervened, and I couldn't get treated anymore in the short term. Great idea, we go for it tomorrow. The next day, the director held a patient meeting. This was a chance to test the patient's mental state for New Year's. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Ruddy started an improv show on the spot while Mike jumped into a crazy dance. Before long, all the patients had escaped. This left many staff in chaos, and the director's face was completely lost. He ordered his subordinates in a fit of rage. Mike was thrown back into the morgue. Having gone through it twice, he was clearly more experienced this time and actively called for help. He spent more time recalling when the police were shot. That day, after fixing the carpenter's car, he fled. Soon after, he got into a man's car, but they were driving too slowly on the highway, so an officer came to stop them. The driver acted all cooperative at first, but as soon as the door opened, he went on a shooting spree. As they locked eyes, Mike was knocked out by a stray bullet, perfect stop for the driver. So all the crimes in this incident were pinned on Mike. When he woke up and found himself back in the morgue, he finally understood the truth. There had been no murder at all. It was all a trap set by the driver. In panic, he time-traveled again to a cafe. Since being asked to leave, he had been investigating his death cause. But he could only find out about the death circumstances, never the cause. Soon after Mike's death, Roy reported the director for his violent treatment methods. Subtitles: his treatment methods are all revoked. Within 1 to 3 days, Mike must act now. Subtitle: find out cause of his death. The top doc said the hospital's been running. Old staff might recall past events. Soon after, many people arrived at the mental hospital. To get answers quickly, Mike spun a yarn claiming the deceased was his uncle long ago. They met the new director, who seemed to have been in the profession ages ago, yet he too couldn't find any records. Fortunately, Roy was still employed at the hospital, so they saved quite a lot of time. When Roy saw Mike, he couldn't help but laugh, saying his uncle was one of his most precious patients. Hearing that made Mike beam with joy. But he still had to ask Roy why that treatment left the deepest impression. Turns out, Roy had a crush on Mike's treatment approach. Mike continued to ask about his cause of death, but Roy simply replied, head injury, and refused to elaborate further. With no other option, they left the office, and Mike took his new friend straight to the morgue. As he walked into the room, a strangely dressed man followed him in. Mike would never forget him. He was the first man who sent him here. Subtitles: but at this moment, this individual appeared to be not quite in his right mind, and his speech was slurred and unclear. Mike intended to question him, yet the man was utterly terrified. His cries attracted the staff upstairs, but nothing could be found back at the station, so they had to leave. After all that, their relationship deepened. The top doctor led him back home, and Mike claimed his sniper position. After they got closer, the top doctor didn't initially want to get involved, but But from that moment, he vowed to uncover the truth. But when he opened his eyes again, everything had returned to 1992, and Mike didn't want to endure that pain again, yet he didn't want to stop moving forward. Everyone believes the death time the top doctor mentioned is near. Only time travel offers a chance to survive. He told Dr. Liu had traveled to the future. Dr. Liu, thinking it a symptom, kept probing. Unfortunately, Mike was almost dead because his wife had left him. For another person, Mike didn't have time for that. He just wanted to know the cause of his death. These are all just your illusions. Oh, is that so? What about BBK? Is that an illusion too? Hearing that name, the doctor's pupils instantly constricted. He never disclosed that name here, let alone someone like Mike knowing it. The doctor's voice grew louder. How do you know him? Dr. Liu looked panicked.